So, Happy New Year, everybody. I can't believe we're kicking off 2023 already. 2022 went by in a flash, and I thought now would be a good time to sort of take a break in the middle of all these CLE podcasts that you've been listening to get you up to speed on where I'm at in the mentor world, what's been happening over the last year, what the next year ahead looks like. And I really want to share with you how I've been developing this philosophy of giving back that's really been driving so much of what I've been doing in my capacity as the mentor over the last year or so. And it's been a fantastic last year. I've gotten to meet so many of you. If we haven't met yet, please go to my website, thementoresq.com, and click on my scheduler so that you can schedule a complimentary, 30-minute Zoom with me, and we can talk about anything and everything. I've already met with about 150 lawyers in the last year doing 30-minute Zooms, and I've met all types of people, younger, older, new lawyers, retired lawyers, different practice areas, large firms, small firms, people switching practice areas. And it's been really eye-opening to me to sort of get behind the external layer that you believe many lawyers present as, learning who the person is, not just whether they're a plaintiff's lawyer, defense lawyer, not just whether they're in a storefront practice in Queens or in a big corporate law firm in New York City, Manhattan, actually learning about these people and how they got to where they are, whether they're happy doing what they're doing. Not everybody I speak to is happy with where they're at, and they're looking to make a transition either in career or in type of practice or starting their own practice. Some people are super happy with where they are. And a consistent thread that I've been finding, and one that I really believe in and preach, is quality of life, and finding that balance of feeling good about what you do as an attorney, feeling good about your practice, feeling good about your clientele, feeling good about the work you're doing as a lawyer in the profession, and balancing that with your quality of life. So we all have different desires, we all have different lifestyles, but if you can find that balance where you can work, provide for yourself, your family, your loved ones, whoever you need to provide for, and enjoy your life and feel good about what you're doing, I think that's the ultimate goal. I think as we all start out as lawyers, we want to make money, we want to become prominent, and you start to realize after you've been practicing for a couple of decades, as I have, that the most important part is that you feel good about what you're doing and you're able to support your family and your lifestyle, whatever your needs are. So I've really been focusing on that, and I think most of the people who I speak with, most of the attorneys, agree. And what I've been working on in the last year or so has all been about, helping people find that happiness, helping people find that success in their professional life as well as personal life, and finding that balance. And I like to call this giving back. By my efforts, if I can give back what I've learned to help others, it's super rewarding and it's super satisfying. And what I found out is that all of these things I've been doing as the mentor, my podcast, my CLEs, my one-on-one meetings, I don't charge for any of that. And yes, it helps me because it helps me meet other lawyers, and hopefully it'll lead to referrals and help my bottom line and bring in some more business and improve my brand, which we should all do as lawyers. You always want to improve your personal and professional brand. But it's so satisfying when I meet with attorneys that tell me that something that I said on my podcast or in a CLE or in a one-on-one meeting helped them in making either switch in jobs, or help them in refocusing what they're doing, or help them in getting involved in giving back themselves. So I've been really working hard on that, and I wanted to let you know what I've been doing. So in addition to meeting with lawyers every week, I have a scheduler, so it just pops up and I pop up on the screen and get to meet someone new, usually several people I'm meeting every week. I've been doing my CLEs, which I plan to do for the indefinite future. I'm going to just keep going, and I've been trying to come up with things that will really have an impact on the profession, where people can learn about areas within personal injury law, within trial skills, where you just haven't had the opportunity to learn it before. I've been very surprised to learn that few lawyers have really received true mentorship or true training on what it takes to successfully represent a client, to successfully handle a case. And there's just a hunger for that knowledge. And I've been able to fill that hunger and feed it. And that makes me very happy to do that. So I just completed a CLE series with the New York State Academy of Trial Lawyers on how to litigate a construction accident injury case. And I'm kicking off 2023 with a 6-part series on how to litigate a medical malpractice case. And I know medical malpractice is a area within personal injury law that many personal injury attorneys don't handle. It's one of the ways that we've been able to distinguish our firm, in that we do handle medical malpractice cases at a very high level, in addition to all other types of serious personal injury cases. But a lot of people are, rightfully so, a little intimidated and or afraid and or hesitant to open up their practice area to handling medical malpractice cases. So I'm looking forward to walking lawyers through the proper way to do it, so that they feel comfortable if they want to take on that case, or give them the opportunity to ride alongside me while working on a case that they refer to me. If you did not know that, that's one of the things I've been doing for the last few years, is lawyers reach out to me to refer a case that comes to them that seems a little bit too big or challenging for them to handle. And instead of just referring it to me and working out a referral fee arrangement, I will have them not only participate in the fee arrangement, but basically shadow me the whole way through the case and learn how I handle and work up and ultimately resolve these cases, so that the next time they can perhaps handle it themselves. So in addition to the CLEs, which I'll continue to do every year in each month, I've been working for the last year on a book. I'm very excited to share with you that I have published a book called How to Successfully Litigate a Personal Injury Case. It's based off of the CLE 6-part series I did for the Academy, New York State Academy of Trial Lawyers. And it's a guidebook that really helps walk you through from beginning to end how to litigate a personal injury case successfully. And you'll be hearing more about the book. And all proceeds from that book are going to go and support 3 causes of mine, charitable causes that I want to share with you. In addition to that, I've started the Mentor Esq online shop for giving back. And if you go to my website, thementoresq.com, I've created an online shop that has all kinds of swag of Mentor Esq hats and hoodies and blankets and tote bags. And you can also access my ebooks from there. And you'll be able to access my new book that I published, which can be found on Amazon through my website. And you can also book experiences with me. Currently, I'm offering an experience where you spend the day with me, driving different Porsches, driving in a race simulator, having lunch, just me and you, getting to spend some time. And all the money for that goes to charity, of course. And I'm also offering a counsel for the day program, where I'll go to any lawyer or law firm in the continental US for a day and spend all that time doing anything that the firm or the attorney would like my assistance in, whether it's preparing for a trial, giving a private CLE to the firm, or whatever it may be. And again, everything on my online shop goes to fund 3 charities, all the proceeds for that. So I'm able to do things that are giving a benefit, I hope, to fellow lawyers, sharing my knowledge, sharing my books, sharing my CLEs, and ultimately using that as a platform to generate money for some really great causes. So it's a win-win all around. And I want to tell you a little bit about the three causes that I'm super happy to support. And there's information about them all on my website, and you can Google them as well. Many of you know about the Water Project. I've talked about the Water Project before. I've had the founder of the Water Project on this podcast. If you haven't heard my interview with Peter Chassie, you can find it if you search interview episodes on the mentoresq.com. And he founded this charitable foundation, the Water Project, that brings water, potable, drinkable, usable, clean water to small villages and schools in sub-Saharan Africa. So you're talking Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And I've been personally involved in at least 3 projects where we've helped raise money to actually bring running water to, a middle school or a high school or a small village where they don't have running water. And when I learned about the fact that, there are in today's world people who have to travel, for 2 miles with a jug to a river to get water to bring back to a school so that children could have clean water to drink, and that they don't even have running water or lavatories. They have to use basic holes in the ground and outhouses, and that with not too much money, you can bring that water to them. And we've done it on several occasions, and actually receive videos and photos the whole way, and see the catch basins being built and seeing the faucets being turned on. It's just super amazing, and I'm really happy to support the Water Project. The next cause that I'd like to talk about is Friends of Michael. Michael Simmons passed away at the age of 26. Tragically, he was a brilliant attorney. He was at the top of his class at Brooklyn Law School and on the Law Review, and he interned for my firm a few years ago for about a year. And I was always hoping to get him to come work in my firm. I really took a liking, and some of you may have met Michael. He came with me to a couple of the New York City trial lawyers events and galas, and I introduced him around. And when he graduated from law school, he went off and clerked for different federal bankruptcy court judges. That was really passion of his. I was hoping he'd get the clerkships and bankruptcy law out of his system and come work with me as a personal injury lawyer. And I kept staying in touch with him until I found out that while he was living in Delaware clerking for a bankruptcy court judge there, he suffered a pulmonary aneurysm in his sleep, or pulmonary embolism rather, in his sleep, and died. And he was a gifted guitarist, and his parents set up a foundation called Friends of Michael in his honor. And what that does is it brings guitars and guitar lessons to inner city kids in Hartford, Connecticut, his family in here from Connecticut. And so they can enjoy his love of guitars, learn how to play, have a guitar. So I'm super happy to support that cause, because Michael was near and dear to me, and a big loss. So anything I can do to support his honor and his memory, I'm happy to do that. And then the third cause that I'm currently supporting with all the proceeds from everything I do as a mentor is the Just Hands Racing Foundation. And I'm excited to share with you that I've just joined the board of directors. I was invited, and I most happily accepted a position on the board of the Just Hands Racing Foundation, which is a non-for-profit foundation that was founded by Torsten Gross, who I look forward to having a guest on a future interview episode of The Mentor within the next few months. And Torsten, I believe he was 15 years old. He'll share his story with you. Broke his neck when diving into the water, shallow water, and was rendered quadriplegic. And he told me that that was the best thing that ever happened to him in his life, which is quite something. And since that time, He's become a top marketing executive. He has been certified as a diver and became the world's only rescue diver who's a quadriplegic in the to go save people. He's done 12 marathons in 12 months, and he has gotten into high performance driving on a track, which you probably know is something that I'm passionate about as well as a hobby. And I met Torsten. We were both driving on the track, and it was a fun story where we were both sort of in our cars driving, and I didn't know who this guy was in this orange BMW in front of me, and then behind me, and then in front of me. But the two of us were flying around Lime Rock Park and trying to get past all these other slow drivers. We were the fastest ones in our group. And we were getting a little frustrated because every time we started to get some momentum and have some fun chasing each other, we got blocked by some slower drivers. So after the session on the track, we get back into the paddock, and here comes Torsten in his wheelchair, wheeling over to me. He says, "Hey, I was the guy in the orange BMW. We were having a good time out there until we ran into traffic." So that's how Torsten and I met. And then I started to learn about him, and he showed me his car with all the hand controls, and I was so impressed at how he could drive that amazingly well on track in a sports car and a race car with hand controls. And he taught me and showed me about how it works. And I learned that he started this foundation so that other people with injuries that prevented them from using their legs to operate a vehicle, that use hand controls, usually people who are paralyzed, that they can get behind the wheel of a track car and get that experience of driving on track and being able to be in the same category as able-bodied people and drive better than people who are using their legs and get that sensation. And so it's a foundation that at no cost to the participants who are usually wheelchair bound, they show up at the track. We will get them in a car, a racetrack car with an instructor. They'll learn how to drive on track, and they can be a passenger if they want. They can drive real fast if they want. They can take it to the highest level if they want. So I'm super happy to be joining the board. I look forward to, doing a lot more to help make a difference through the Just Hands Racing Foundation. So what I'll be doing is all the proceeds from the Mentor Esq online shop, whether you're buying Mentor swag or a book or an experience with me, all the net proceeds are going to be split up equally to be provided to these three wonderful causes: the Water Project, Friends of Michael, and Just Hands Racing Foundation. So I'm super excited that I can make a difference that way. And I want to encourage you to make a difference. One of the things that I've also been doing in the last year is working with my mentorship program, which hopefully you'll join me for when we start the next series of it. And what the mentorship program is, it's a new program I just started in the fall of 2022. And I didn't know what would come of it, frankly. I thought, having met with all these lawyers, that it would be something cool to do to see if they'd like to have some more one-on-one interaction with me than just attending a CLE online. So I put it out there and I sent some email blasts out. Maybe you got one. Maybe you're on my mentorship team already. But I sent out a blast saying, hey, I'm going to do a program. We're going to meet once a month for an hour and a half. And we're going to go over stuff, and it's going to be a Zoom. It's going to be interactive. We're going to go over trial skills. We'll talk about marketing. We'll talk about referrals. And I was curious to see who would be interested in doing it. And again, I didn't charge for it. At that time, I asked anyone who wanted to join to just give a minimum $100 contribution to the Water Project. And if you gave me your receipt from doing that, you were in the program. I didn't know if I'd get one person, two people, or who would show up. But I got 60 people who signed up for it, and I was super excited. So I broke everybody up into 4 groups based on years of practice. So the first group has been practicing 5 years or less. Second group, 6 years to 11 years. Third group is 12 to 20. And then the 20-plus year group is the fourth group. And there's about 15 people in each group. And we've been meeting since, I think we started in September, of 2022, and it's going to go through to February of 2022. And it's just been fantastic. Everyone's learning a lot. Everyone's been networking with everybody else in their group. I've been learning. I've been sharing my information. I've been, giving everybody the behind the scenes of what I've been doing that I've just shared with you. And I talked about giving back with my mentorship group. And many of my team members came back to me the next month's meeting and said, listen, I thought about you and talking about giving back. And I'd always been asked by my local organization in my town that does X, Y, and Z if I'd like to volunteer. And I never really did it, but you inspired me. And I went and I volunteered. And I have to tell you how rewarding it was. And now I'm going to keep doing it every month. And I start to hear more and more stories like that about people finding a way to give back. And you don't have to have a lot of money to give back. You don't have to give by using funds. You can just give with your time, you give with your heart. I really recommend that you find something that is of interest to you. So, for example, I'm interested in, cars on track, and I found a great way through Just Hands Racing to give back that way. So if there's something that interests you and that you have the opportunity to just say, hey, can I show up and help out? I'm happy to be there. Any organization is going to be thrilled to have somebody, especially an attorney, who's willing to just come give time and lend their mind and their heart and their soul and their effort to whatever cause it is. And I encourage you to find a way to give back, whether it's from personally getting involved, whether it's writing a check, whether it's purchasing something through my Mentor Esq shop, or going straight to one of the charities I just spoke about to support them. Whatever it is, find some way that you feel comfortable, but do something to give back. Because what you will receive, what you will get back in return will be, tenfold. You'll feel great about it. And that's how I feel in all the things I've been doing, like my podcast, talking to you now, my CLEs, my mentorship program, my book. All this stuff is just, it feels great, to be honest. It just feels good to make a difference, and we can all make a difference. So I want to take this moment, and in this podcast, my goal was to share with you what I'm doing, why I feel it's so important to give back, and that we can all make some time, even if it's just coaching a kid's team on the weekend. Whatever it is, find something outside of the practice of law, outside of the daily grind that we're all involved in, to get a little change of scenery and offer some support to someone, and they'll be so appreciative. And if you have any questions about the organizations I'm involved with, other ways to get involved and give back, just reach out to me. Hopefully you know that I'm super accessible. You can email me, asmiley@smileylaw.com. I try to get back to everybody within 24 hours. You can book a one-on-one with me to talk. And I just want to keep it going. And I plan to. I'm not looking at stopping. I've been sort of renewed and revitalized as a result of this pandemic, believe it or not. Good things come of bad situations. And for me, it was getting out of the daily grind in the city, going to work, working, running to court, running around. I've been able to work primarily remotely. I've been able to get all of my day-to-day business work and running a law firm and working my cases and handling, appearances and motions and mediations. I can get all that done, and I can still record this podcast and work on my book and have my mentorship program and raise money for causes. So you can do it all. You just need to commit to doing it, and I encourage you to do so. So with that, I want to wish you all a very healthy, prosperous, and happy 2023. Be good to yourself. Be good to those who are good to you. Maybe be good to some strangers who you don't even know. And try and set some goals for this year where you can find some time to give back and make a difference. And if you can find some time to meet up and connect with me, I'd really like that. So please try and make that happen as well. And with that, I wish you all a great day, a great month ahead, a great year ahead, and we'll be talking soon. Have a good one.